deeper dive on a short video that I did about why the U.S. doesn't fear nuclear war with Russia or anyone else. And so I'm going to dive into all the aspects of that. So basically, we'll start off with there's a technology called synthetic aperture radar. If you watch this channel, you know all about that. But basically, you can use satellites in space, and you can use more than two or more to be able to do triangulation using microwaves to be able to build a 3D texture map of an area of operations, and you can basically see what's going on in a whole area. And it can pierce through walls because it uses microwaves, so it can pierce through basic structures. And you can use ground piercing radar satellites as well, so you can pierce into the ground and see what's going on underground as well. So you could use a multitude of different satellite technologies to build these 3D texture maps, okay? Your phones do the same exact thing because you only have so much space in the sky to build a 3D map. The whole surface of the Earth is the plan. But you want to be able to watch your enemies where you don't have their cell phones, because normally we can already map using these cell phones to see how much they can map your entire room, basically using your phone, and see exactly what's in the room, the layout of the room, and everything. And so they can know exactly where you are, exactly what's going on all the time with just using the cell phone aspect of it. And then your smart meter on your house is hooked up to the grid, which is basically a cell phone. It communicates to the towers, and it can communicate all of your power usage, and they're able to transmit internet over the power lines. So because you could do internet over power lines, you could basically send information through your electrical grid back to the smart meter, which can feed right back to the which feed the information back. So basically, they can tap into your smart meter. If you have any speaker in anywhere in your house, it can double as a microphone, because all speakers are basically microphones, and so they can listen to everything you're doing just using your smart meter on your house and track all of your movements. So once they have all the domestic stuff set up and dominated, then you can use the satellites for looking elsewhere, all around the Earth, in different places. So once you can do that, then you have ultimate control over the whole system. And then, so because you could track movement of all vehicles on Earth, you can see where nuclear submarines are. And you could track their movement using synthetic aperture radar to see exactly where their position is. You can do ground piercing radar and see through the ocean. As long as you're watching their movement, it's easy to watch. It doesn't matter how deep they go, they're still able to be seen. And so once you know their location, you can track all their movement. And then you can have kinetic kill vehicles, which work in conjunction with the Starlink constellation, which is secret military purposes, a synthetic aperture radar constellation. And that's just like we went to war with the Iraqis. Once we made GPS, where we could use the desert and come up behind them. They didn't think anyone would ever use that. No one could ever navigate through the desert. Well, that's why we went over there and to Kuwait and helped out, is because we knew that we had this new technology. So every time we have new technology, we want to poke the bear. So that's why we want Ukraine to join NATO, is because we have this new technology and we want to poke the bear. So we want to test the technology, because if we could shut down and use these kinetic kill vehicles to shut down every nuclear ballistic missile that's launched and destroy them before they can even reach the states, and then you can hide in the Denver National Airport, and that connects to the mountain range 20 miles away, and they dug out the same amount of dirt and pulled them out the same amount of dirt as they pulled out for the Panama Canal. So think about how much dirt that is. That's a massive amount of earth they moved over there. So that was all underground tunneling they did. And so that's all connected, and they're going to go hide underground. They don't care what happens, and because they're going to use the system to basically do like what they did and don't look up, or they're trust on some system to work, and we're just going to be dependent on it. So it's going to be quite crazy, but that's why we're not afraid of nuclear war. That's why, if you notice right now, the military doesn't seem to be afraid of a nuclear conflict with Russia, and that's the reason why. This is new technology, and we want to test it out. We want to put it to use, because if you can actually implement it in military, this is what we always do. We always want to try to look weak when we're strong, and so that's why we pretend like anytime we say, oh, Russia has some missile system we can't shoot down, then that means we can obviously shoot it down, because we wouldn't say that we could shoot it down if we can't shoot it down if we could. So everything's just opposite. So ultimately, the entire system is going to basically make nuclear war, because they want to test these new systems out, and they'll be able to make a one world government after it. So they'll be able to have control over the entire play field, and it's all about domination. Everything's about full spectrum domination, FSD, and that's a military acronym, and not full self-driving, it's full spectrum domination. And so everything is going to be under control, and there's not much we can do about it. But I just want people to know about the potentiality for nuclear war, and why we're poking the bear with Ukraine, and why we're starting all this to begin with. And we might be taking over Mexico soon, who knows. But basically, I just wanted to make this video and explain some of the details. So you can go look up on YouTube these kinetic kill vehicles and go look into all this information. And if you combine this with the Starlink constellation, you could be able to get accurate pinpoint locations of all ballistic missiles that are in the air and launched. And when you're using synthetic aperture radar, you can track all their movements in real time and record all their movements in real time. So no nuclear missile systems can hide. So all of them can be neutralized. So in theory they can. But in practice, they're willing to go hide underground and to see if it works. So this is how it always pans out. So anyways, I just wanted to make this video because I think it's important that everyone and all parties involved know of this system, and know this is why they're pushing this system, and why they're poking the bear with Russia, because they know that they can probably get away with it. And more than likely, they're going to be fine, because they'll hide in their bunkers. They'll have tons of time to prevent the system and be able to get to Colorado and get under the underground like they're supposed to. Get all Congress underground. And so, anyways, that's the ultimate thing of what's going on. And if you have comments, I would like to hear what you have to say, and hopefully we can learn together and teach and spread information to all existence, because everything is one, and we're all connected through the Big Bang. And this recent these attacks on the Big Bang, not gonna fly by me. So anyways, I love you all. I hope you have a glorious, magnificent, wonderful, beautiful, awesome, amazing, incredible existence, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Till next time. Love you.